Could never have too many big boys up front. Ohio State continuing to add to a 2026 recruiting class, and they found a fifth offensive lineman for this class, if I am counting correctly. Landry Brede from Mentor, Ohio, the number 1,102 player in the country, number 90 offensive tackle. Andrew, this is about depth, right? They needed depth. They needed a large class, and I do think getting five, Tyler Bowen has accomplished his mission of both quality and quantity across the board of what you would want from an offensive line class.
The reason I'm kind of chuckling and laughing here is because I think so many Ohio State fans, rightfully so, had some issues with Justin Fry's recruiting.
Yeah, it's not that hard to get five offensive linemen, apparently.
Right. And I think there's two things here. I think number one, for as much as Fry got guff about his recruiting, I think we're seeing this year that the offensive line room's in a decent spot with what they've done and the depth that they've got. But I think what you are seeing is the addition of kind of what that next level looks like with Tyler Bowen, and that is the big deal. So yeah, you land Brede. This is a kid that I think Ohio State has kind of been keeping an eye on. They wanted to see some senior film. That's what happens in the first couple of weeks here. I mean, he gets an offer in early September. I went and saw him play. They beat the snot out of Medina, so he only played like a half. Maybe I don't even know if it was that. But he looked good. He plays left tackle for them. I watched him catch a tackle throwback pass where it's like one of those things where he like fakes a block to the inside, circles back. They throw the ball backwards to him, and he caught the ball and ran for like 10 yards. So he does have like a modicum of athleticism.
Can you don't say that too loud because then Keenan Bailey will turn him into a tight end.
Yeah, Keenan Bailey's going to ask him to drop like 60 pounds. But yeah, I mean, this is a kid who I think is going to project to guard at the next level. I don't think he's got that tackle size. I don't think he's got that tackle athleticism to play at the Big Ten. But this is somebody that I think you look at the guard. I saw a lot of physicality. I saw some nastiness. I saw good footwork. Those are just kind of things that you want to see from a guard. And to me, this is a recruitment to where Ohio State, they found a guy that they like. You have Greer and Thomas as your two tackles, right? And we can get into what the rest of the class looks like. But there's Riley in the middle. There's Tucker Smith in the middle. These are all massive human beings. I think they're all 6'5" or taller. So Ohio State has really gone out of their way to get some size on this offensive line, and Brede is just the latest example of that. So, and I think it's a nice depth addition for Ohio State. I do expect there to be a rankings bump. So I think some people are probably going to look at this and go, "Oh, 3-star recruit. He's this low in the rankings. Like, what are they doing? Why are they?" I wouldn't worry about that too much right now, especially because one, he is the fifth commit in this class for Ohio State on the offensive line. It wasn't like this was a, hey, this is our star of the class. I think there's other prospects in state not that far down the road from him that fit that bill. But this is a nice depth piece where you take him, you like what you see. He's an in-state kid, and you say, let's get some interior depth, and we'll see where we're at in 2 years. And this, to me, is exactly the kind of thing that Tyler Bowen should be doing, because I don't think Ohio State is looking at this going, we're done. 26 is good. Let's move on to 27. I think they are going to keep their options open for 26. And if there is a right prospect in 26, I would not be surprised if they had 6 offensive linemen in that group.
Can never have too many big boys. Let's just assume this is it, though. Let's just assume because I don't think it's off-brand to think that they get to signing day and these are the 5 they have, even though you're saying, listen, keep your eyes peeled because more might be on the way because flip season is around the corner. You got Sam Greer, number 67 player, number 5 offensive tackle. I think that guy might be a 5-star by the time we get to signing day. Maxwell Riley, number 140 player, number 11 offensive tackle. You've got Aaron Thomas from Arizona, number 506 player, number 46 offensive tackle. He's 6'7", 300. My, oh, my. Tucker Smith, he's 6'5", 280, number 535 player, number 40 interior offensive lineman. And now you've got Landry Brede as the number 1,102 player, number 90 offensive tackle. He's 6'5", 280. And just for the sake of making sure I say everybody else's sizes as well, Sam Greer, 6'8", 315. If you dropped 100 pounds, he could play small forward right now in the NBA. And then Maxwell Riley is 6'5", 280. Everybody's not 6'5", 280, 247 sports, okay? There are other weight classes there. But if this is the class, if those 5 are the class, we get to signing day and Ryan Day's up there, and these are the only 5 he talks about. Grade Tyler Bowen's first offering as Ohio State's offensive line coach as a recruiter.
I'm gonna say A minus,
Okay.
because I think Greer as the in-state kid was somebody that you needed to get.
Mm-hmm.
I think Riley was somebody as the in-state kid that you needed to get,
Mm-hmm.
and this was something to where Ohio State had been, I think, in maybe more of a battle than is remembered right now for those kids.
Sure.
Maxwell Riley really liked Clemson, and I think like that is something that it's
It's funny enough.
hilarious.
It's
Yeah,
funny in hindsight because of what's happening in Clemson, but that was
exactly.
the real thing that Maxwell Riley was genuinely thinking about going to Clemson.
Yeah, it was Ohio State and Clemson were the final 2 schools for him.
Yeah.
So it's Riley, and you do have to go out and land those kids. Then you
Mm-hmm.
go out and you land Aaron Thomas. That was a recruitment to where it felt like Ohio State was in the mix, and then it kind of felt like they were fading. And then I remember like right at the end, right as this was kind of wrapping up, Ohio State surged at the end. So for him to go get a tackle, I think is helpful. Then you add Tucker Smith. He's going to play guard or center. Ohio State sounds like has told him, hey, be ready for both. Be ready to play guard or center whenever we need you. I think Breed's going to be a guard. I think this is an A minus class, because I think you've got the high level ability there. Again, I'm looking at Sam Greer as like a 5-star player. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
looking at Sam Greer as like a borderline top 100 kid. I think he is a 5-star player. I think you're probably going to see some ratings bumps from Ohio State kids in the next couple of months. But this is a solid class, and I just, I'm not going to go give it an A plus or an A right now because again, while there are other considerations, specifically and i.e. money, that go into this, you think about Jackson Cantwell, you think about Felix Ojo, you think about some of these other kids, would you maybe like to see another top 250 kid? Sure, but
Mm-hmm.
you land two Ohio kids before Brede, and then now you add the Brede kid, and you have 2 Arizona kids. And again, I don't think they're done. I mean, right now it's an A minus because you map out where this room is going to be, and you can start to see the depth forming to where it's not, oh God, if Ohio State doesn't go get a tackle out of the portal, they're in deep trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, for example, let's just like lay this out. Right now, you have Sierreveld and Daniels as your left and right tackles. Next year, or I guess right behind them, you would say you have Lowe and Moore. And Ohio State really likes those guys in the class. Then you add the guys behind them, and that's going to be Greer and Thomas. And I think you feel pretty good about them, especially with, having some time to develop. The interior guys, I mean, I know we've talked about the right guard position, but I thought Hinsman's looked good. I think Montgomery's looked good. You have Shabola and you have Anyanwa as your right guard. They're kind of rotating in. But Padilla, people in that program love him. Gabe Van Sickle, people in that program really love him. This is a 26 kid that you're going to be talking about going, hey, this kid might be like Ohio State. When we get to drive the bus category, there's going to be some Gabe Van Sickle talk. I'll say that.
Okay.
So Gabe Van Sickle, he's in the mix. They really like Jake Cook, but he is just a freshman. Then you add the 3 interior guys from this class with Riley, with Smith, with Brede. You're supplementing it in waves, and that is exactly what Ohio State needed to do. The 27 class is going to be really big for them, but man, the Armstrong twins are in that mix as well. Trying to think if I forgot anybody on the offensive line. I don't think I did. McFadden, you have him up there. Like there is a nice group building for this Ohio State offensive line room, and the 26 class supplemented that. 27's big, but 26 has been a very, very nice job for Tyler Bowen because I'm also kind of grading this on a curve. He got hired like right before spring practice. He got hired like in like the late winter, and he showed up, and within a month or so, within a month or two, I think it was the month of March, they got 3 offensive line commitments. He got to work immediately. He has been aggressive on the trail. He's done a good job. I think it's an A minus, and I think you're going to start to see maybe they can flip somebody else. We're approaching AA plus territory.
And to the Cantwell Felix Ojo point, no, you don't have them, but you might have your own version of that with Sam Greer. I mean, again, he's 6'8", 315. Just off the traits alone, I think that give him his 5th star. Everybody. I think Rivals has already done it. So we're just waiting on 247 and On 3 to kind of catch up there. But you might have your own 5-star in your own backyard. And that always helps when you have one of those in your backyard. But Landry Brede, Ohio State, his 5th offensive line commitment for its 2026 recruiting class. Maybe he's the last one, maybe he's not. But either way, this would be the most offensive line signees Ohio State has had in a class since, I believe, 2020, when they had 5 or more in that class. So it's been a while since Ohio State's had a big offensive line class, both in the human beings, but then also the amount of human beings they're bringing in as well. So get the text 614-350-3315. That's the first place we went with this news before anywhere else, even if it's late at night, no matter what time. It goes straight to your phone. You don't have to go looking for it. We're going to bring the news to you for 2 weeks for free, and then $3.99 after that. Ohio State gets his 5th offensive line commit. Go listen to Buckeye Talk wherever you find podcasts. That's Andrew Gillis. I'm Stephen Means. Talk to you guys later.